Hello and welcome to Yarn Lane. So excited today. I'm really looking forward to this show. This is brand new today. So Yarn Lane obviously mostly is about knitting and crochet, but it isn't just about that. There's loads and loads of other yarn crafts. So we've done punch needle with you already. We've done some needle felting. Today it's all about tatting. Now you might know what tatting is, have seen it, or your mum might have done it, or your grandma did it, but oh wow, it's wonderful. So I thought, well, I need to get somebody on air who knows about tatting, and Barbara, our guest today, she knows everything about tatting. She is an absolute expert. So let's just start off with a little bit of admin. We have a different website for Yarn Lane. If you want to buy anything on Yarn Lane, you have to visit www.yarnlane.com. It's exactly the same as the way that Sewing Street works. So you click on the watch live, look, you can see it on screen, there I am, hello. And then if you go below, look, you can see all the products. So the easiest way to buy from the show is to click on watch live, and then all the products, all the kits that we're selling today, it's really simple. They're all on there. If you want to message the studio, if you've got any questions for Barbara, you want to know anything, that's it's studio@yarnlane.com. Or you can do it on the website there. So you can message the studio from there, or you can email us. But please do send in your questions or your comments, or let us know what you've made. That would be great. Great to know if there's other tatters out there. Now, obviously, if you don't want to order on the website, you can order by phone as well, completely free, and it's a UK-based call centre, 0800 4700 600. Remember that there's only one P&P per day. It's £3.95, and it goes across Sewing Street as well. So if you've already bought something on Sewing Street today, then your postage is free, because it's one P&P per day. Doesn't matter how many times you check out during the day. If you pop it in your basket, it's only yours if you've checked out, but you can keep checking out and you only pay the one £3.95 P&P today. It's easy peasy. Okay, that's all the admin done. So what is tatting? Well, I first heard about tatting because my mum used to do it, and then she's always saying, oh, I wish I could remember how to tat. I used to do it all the time and I can't remember. So I thought, well, do you know, when we do Yarn Lane, we're going to get tatting. So I looked and looked, found Barbara, and she is the expert on tatting. So I'm going to just show you a few examples. These are ones that Barbara's brought up. I'd like to say I haven't done these because I actually don't know how to do this, but I'm going to be adding this craft. Look at how beautiful that is. Can you see it? Look at that. Look at that. So tatting is it looks a bit like, I know Barbara told me it's not lace, it's tatting, but it looks a bit like that. There are two methods of tatting, shuttle tatting and needle tatting, and we're going to be covering both today. So that's what tatting looks like. Shall I show you another one? Look at this one. Ready? Look at that one. That is little Christmas tree with beads. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's very fine. It's very beautiful, but it's a handcraft. None of that sitting in the sewing machine. This is what you do when you're sitting in front of the telly. But you obviously need to concentrate a bit. But it's a beautiful, very traditional craft. I was talking to Barbara about it earlier. It's been going, it was particularly popular in the 17th and the 18th centuries, let alone before that. So these are a few examples of things that you can do. This one is a bracelet. Let me show you that one. That one's got beads as well. Look, it's just attached to here, but it is actually a little bracelet. So you can create edgings that you can attach to other things. You can make little mats, bracelets, all sorts of different items. And all you need is a shuttle and some thread. Or if you're doing needle tatting, you need special needles and thread. Now, it's very important, the shuttle you use, the needles you use, and the thread you use. It's really important that you use the right thing and the proper quality as well. So, because Barbara's been doing this for such a long time and she's got her own business, Tatting and Design, she knows exactly where to get everything you need. So she has put together for you today kits. We're going to do it really quickly because we really need to talk to Barbara about how to do this. So this is one of the shuttle tatting kits. There are three. This is rainbow. There are 3 shuttle tatting kits. They're all the same, it's just got different colours of thread. In the kit, you get everything you need. Now, you will struggle to find this yourself. So you get the shuttle, very important. So for less than £20, complete new skill that you've never done before, but this is brilliant. You've got 3 balls of yarn. It's not yarn, it's pure cotton. Now, this comes from the States because this is very specific tatting thread. It's cotton perle, number 10. So it comes all the way from the States. So you've got this, the rainbow one, you get each of the kits, you get a variegated thread and 2 solid colours. This is the rainbow one. We'll go through those in a minute. So you get, so in the kit, and let me show you, this is an example board, a sample board. This is one that Barbara made earlier. I'd like to say it was me, but it definitely wasn't. This is examples of what you can make and more from this kit. I love the rainbow thread because it changes colour quite gradually, which is really nice. So you get sort of a whole pink ring and then an orange and then a green. But you can make edgings, you can make little mats, little bits of lace, all sorts of things, brooches. This is just a few examples of what you can make when you learn how to tat. Now, so what's lovely in this as well, in the thing, obviously Barbara's going to show you how to do it. You can rewatch the show on YouTube. But in your kit as well, you get this fantastic book. This is really good, isn't it? So for £19.99, you're getting all of that yarn and the shuttle. And then this shows you exactly how to do it. It's got fingers and thread and everything. So this is how to start if you've never done it before. That's the booklet of exactly how to do it. So you can learn. I bet I'm never going to get that. No, I'm not going to get that folded up. I'll do that again. You also get the book's Easy Tatting. So once you've learnt the basic technique from there and you've followed Barbara, then this is a booklet with, these are all new patterns. And what's great about this book is it starts at the beginning. So the first pattern is beginners and you progress all the way through. So you start off with creating edgings and then you move through the book and you can make a bookmark, you can make motifs, you can make more complicated edges. But as you've learned one, you move on to the next one. But you get loads, and not only that, so once you've done all of that, you then get this other book called Tatting with Beads. So this is where, so all in this one bundle for under £20. This Browse Point's brilliant, isn't it? I know, but Hannah's telling me the price is all wrong because it's too cheap. It's a fantastic price, isn't it? And then this book tells you all about tatting with beads. So I have got, have I got?
Here. Out of shot.
Oh, just, oh, careful, yeah, just put it on there. That's fine, I'll pick it up in a minute. You've just lost your microphone. I'll show you in a minute. Let me just put some. So this is what tatting with beads looks like. Actually, does it show up very well on that background? No, because it's gold. Yeah, I'm going to show you on that background just so you can see what it looks like when you do tatting with beads. Look at that. That's got all beads on it. And this beautiful bracelet. So this is where you get to when you move on. And then the book, Tatting with Beads, comes into your kit. But you obviously don't get any beads to start with, but these are just small seed beads. So in the kit, you get the 3 reels of cotton purling, number 10. You get the tatting shuttle. You get the instruction booklet of exactly how to tat. You get the book of all of the patterns and tatting with beads. So basically, less than £20, you can start a brand new craft. And no, I mean, it's just, and it is just beautiful. So that's the rainbow kit. Now all of the kit, the tatting shuttle kits are all the same. They just have different colour threads. So this one is the spring garden kit. So let me just show you exactly the same contents, but you get the variegated pink and green thread, the solid green and the solid pink. Shall I show you what you can make? Obviously exactly the same, all the booklets, the Learn Tatting, the project booklet. These are a few samples of what you will make if you buy Spring Garden. Aren't they pretty? But you know, if you know someone who loves craft and wants to try something new, everything you need. I spent a while talking to Barbara about this before we got on air, before we were going through, right, what is it we need? We want to give them enough so they can watch today, they can learn today, but you can also, when you get home, you know what you're. So look at the beautiful things you can make with this. It's lovely. It's a really good price for a brand new craft. And honestly, the tradition and the history behind this is such an old quilt. And obviously what I like about this isn't just, you know how when you buy some beginners kits, the quality, when it started, the quality is often not as good as what you should be using when you do the real thing. But with this, you've got the proper stuff as well. This, I mean, tatting can be done with all thicknesses of thread. And obviously the more experienced you get and the better you get, you use thinner threads. So this is a thicker thread, so it's easy for beginners. But it creates what you make here. So it's not like super thick or anything, but it is very helpful. And then the final colourway with the needle tatting is watermelon. Oh, I love this. Let me show you the threads first. Right. So if these bundles are in your basket, I would suggest you check out because you really don't want to miss out on these. This is the watermelon. They look lovely there, but let me show you what they look like when they're made up. So this is the final colourway of the tatting shuttle kits. Look at those. It's really juicy, isn't it? I love the green. It's the most...
I think that's your favourite, isn't it?
I think the watermelon is definitely my favourite, isn't it? It's really lovely. So it depends whether you want rainbow, spring garden or watermelon, but everything you need and the proper stuff. It's not the sort of that rubbishy starter kit that you often buy. This is the real proper stuff. Because I didn't, you know, when I was very specific, I really wanted, I have to put them this way around, really wanted to bring you tatting so that you know how to do it. You know, I wanted to give you the right stuff rather than, you know, I waited to make sure we had the right stuff. So that is shuttle tatting. Now there's two ways, I said this earlier and Barbara will be explaining this to us later. There are two ways of tatting. There's shuttle tatting and needle tatting. So we have two needle tatting kits and we're going to do these really quickly. In this kit you get the blue, so you get a variegated blue and a solid blue. No, this is, I mean, it's just, it's just there are two ways. Some people prefer needle tatting, some people prefer shuttle tatting, but they look very, very similar. You also get the needles you need. I'm going to open these so you can see, because these aren't just any, you can't just use any old needle for needle tatting. So I haven't, okay. We haven't got samples of what you make with this, have we?
There's one on one of the...
Okay.
It's got a white centre with
Right.
the needle tatting around.
I'm going to just open one of these. Do they just pull off?
Yeah, it should just pull off.
I think I do this. I just
There you
really
go.
want to show you the needles because these
Yeah.
are very specific. So you get 4 needles, they're all different thicknesses, but the point behind them is that the end with the eye on is the same width, thickness as you get to the point, because it's really important that the thread will move off the eye. So you can't just use any old needles for needle tatting. You need these needles and they're in the kit. And there are 4 different thicknesses and you use different thicknesses depending on the thread that you're using. So once you've got this pack, you can do all sorts of needle tatting. But you do need the right needles. So that's very important. I mean, Barbara's going to show us both of them so you'll see them. But can I just say as well, quickly, so we can crack on. In the kit as well, you get Learn Needle Tatting Step by Step.
Wonderful book.
It's a whole book. It's a whole book. Okay? Look, and it's brilliant. It's really good because look, really clear step-by-step photos. How do you do needle tatting? All the way through. Making it, joining it, adding thread, needles in the right sizes, how to do it. And then it's got little patterns as well. So it really is everything you need to know. So once you've watched Barbara doing this, you can then decide, do I want shuttle tatting, do I want needle tatting? Everything you need is in your kit and it is the proper stuff. These books and the thread and the needles, they're not very easy at all to find. You'd have to know where to look and where to get hold. And obviously Barbara's been doing this for so long. She spent years getting the right thread. And so you can get the blue one, or we do it, the needle tatting is in 2 colourways, or the purple one, which uses 1 solid purple and 1 variegated purple. Is this the one?
Mm-hmm.
That is an example of needle tatting. Yes, but yours will be in purple. But... Right, okay. So we're very, very low on stock at the moment. Very, very low.
Oh, gosh.
So I would suggest, if you've seen your basket, you probably best check out very quickly. So let's get on to how to do tatting. So I was talking to Barbara earlier because I've only heard of shuttle tatting. I didn't know about needle tatting as well. So we're going to have a chat about both. So thank you so much for coming on air, Barbara.
You're
That was
welcome.
really, really kind of you. So
Nice to be here.
how did you start? How long have you been tatting for?
I've been tatting for around about 15, 16 years,
Wow.
which, you know, I was very young when I started.
Mm.
And it was a very dear friend of mine that asked if I would like to learn how to do it. At the time I was learning how to do bobbin lace.
Right.
Because tatting is a form of lace, although it's not bobbin lace, it is a form of lace.
Okay.
And I was getting on quite well with my bobbin lace, but she showed me then how to do tatting. Well, with bobbin lace, you have to have a pillow and all the bobbins and all the paraphernalia. So I decided I would prefer tatting because it was so much simpler.
Well, yeah, it is less equipment, isn't it?
Yes,
It's a bit
you
more
can carry your
manageable.
tatting around in a very, very small bag, or even in your pocket.
Yeah, I guess so. It's only a
So
little
it's,
shuttle, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So I started tatting, and I was tatting for about 10 years, and then another good friend of mine was selling her business. So I liked tatting so much I bought the business.
Wow, that's impressive, isn't it? For the whole business.
Bought the whole business.
Well.
Yes. So we're tatting and design, which was
Brilliant.
originally by Lynn Morton, who's written the little book.
Oh, she wrote the little booklet that you get in the shuttle tatting kit.
That's
Lynn
right,
Morton's
yes.
Easy Tatting.
That's Lynn's.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So
So-
where do we start then?
Well, when
How do
you've
we,
got
well, first of all, how do we decide whether we're going to do shuttle tatting or needle tatting?
Well, that's the difficult thing.
Okay.
The only thing I would say is if you have any dexterity problems, then needle tatting is slightly easier to
Right.
do from that point of view. But it really is a personal thing. You know what? I was taught how to shuttle tat to begin with. Shuttle tatting tends to be the most popular certainly in the
Okay.
UK. But with needle tatting, if you want to launch into much thicker threads like your 4-plies and even right up to double knitting, Aran and whatever,
Wow.
you can actually do that with your needle tatting because you can get our needle tatting kit. These go up to I think a 4-ply,
Right.
but you can get thicker needles which will take you right up to chunky.
Gosh.
So if you wanted to do some tatting in wool or yarns, then you can do, as long
So
as it's a
there's loads
smooth
of
yarn.
room for progression. And once you've learnt
Yes.
this skill, there's a lot you
Yes.
can do with it. But shuttle tatting is probably the more traditional one then.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
where do we start then?
Okay, so with your kit, you'll have
So you've got the
a
rainbow
variegated
one
one. I've got the rainbow here. And this is how much
here. Okay.
you will have left on your rainbow, even when you've made the whole of
Oh,
those.
wow. So,
So
you've
you've
made
still
all of
got
that and you've
I've
got
made
that
all of
left.
those, and I've still got this much left
Gosh.
on my rainbow thread. And what we suggest is that you put your variegated, your rainbow thread onto your shuttle, which I've done here. And it's quite easy to put your thread onto your shuttle. You just literally thread it through the little hole
And that
that's
comes
in the
centre
centre
there.
there.
Doesn't it? That little shuttle.
Yeah, there we go. You
I've
see
got mine
that?
here.
It's a little hole through there, and you just put that through and tie it off, and that's you starting, and you just wind on onto your shuttle.
Just wind it round and round the
Yes.
centre.
It's better if let me do it.
Here,
If you wind and wind too much, because we have a very, very tightly wound thread anyway. This is a very it's one of the better threads that you can get, and it does have a very tight wind on it already. So you pop it through, and
Oh, so you just knot
make
it
a little
through.
knot.
Okay.
yeah, and then you wind by moving your shuttle rather than your thread. Can you see that? I'm
Yeah.
moving that over, looking to make sure I'm in the right place. Okay, so
And how
that's,
much do you wind on then?
that will depend on your project, but
Okay.
most of the time you can just fill your shuttle up, and then that'll take you
Right. And when it's full,
through.
it's just so it's filled to
Yes,
the top and the bottom.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So we can wind our thread. Then we will cut it off. Because we're going to be, as a beginner, I like to use 2 different coloured threads. So you can see that my thread coming from the bobbin here is a greeny colour, and I've got the blue, that's my ball thread. And I've tied them both together.
Oh, so you've got green coming from the shuttle.
Yeah.
And then blue is your ball.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And tie them together.
And we tie them together, and we can use that little knot to start with. So as long as you're right-handed, if you're left-handed, you just do it the opposite way. If you're right-handed, then you hold your little knot in between your thumb and first finger, and then you want to put this thread around your hand and over your little finger like that, just to hold it. And then this thread we will be working between these 2 fingers here. So we're working on this thread that's here.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as you can see, the thread coming from my shuttle is a green thread, but that's not the thread I want for my stitches. This thread is what's going to make my stitches. So the stitches should be the colour of your ball thread. Okay.
Okay.
So let's just get that right. And I'm going to work with around about 4 to 5 inches. I work in old money.
Yes, yeah, don't we all?
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the thread going down my hand, and I'm going to wind it over my hand like that. So I'm holding my shuttle underneath, and then my shuttle's going to go under the thread, and you see I'm just going to let it go under the thread, and then I'm going to bring it back through the loop I've made on the top of my hand. So I'm coming back in that direction. And when we do this, we want to pull, and you can see that the thread has gone blue on the green thread has gone blue. And so I'm now going to pull that tight and push that down the thread. Okay, so that's the first half. Second half, we just go over the thread with the shuttle and back through. That's a better. And then again, we're going to pull that thread so it comes over the top, and that's the stitch. So the stitch is in 2 halves. Okay, so I'm going to do that again, and we've probably got a better view now on the camera there. So underneath, and then back through that loop that I've made by putting it over my fingers, and then I'm going to make sure that the thread on my hand goes loose, and as I pull on the shuttle, it bounces over the top. And then I can just open my fingers again. So all the time we're closing and opening our fingers like this. Okay? Then the second half is over the top and back under, and again close your fingers up and pull on your shuttle, and then open your fingers while your shuttle thread is nice and tight. Open your fingers and just tighten up that little stitch. I'm not sure if you can see the stitches there. They're quite tiny. But that's the stitch basically.
Right, that's it.
That's the stitch.
That's it.
Yes.
So we just got to learn that.
Yeah. So I'll go through it once more, shall I?
Yeah, please, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to put the thread down our hand and over the top. So I've made a loop, put the shuttle under the thread, and then back over the top through that loop I've made, put my fingers together, pull on the shuttle, then open up my fingers to bring that thread down tightly onto the thread.
Fantastic. So you could just keep doing that until you've got it, and I presume once you've got it, you do it fast.
Yes, yes. You can speed up a little bit. We can go fast forward like this.
Okay, so you just start off and you learn that basic stitch.
That's the basic stitch.
Right.
Yes, and from there you move on to picots.
Okay.
Picot is really simple.
Well, picots we use lots in crochet.
In crochet, yes.
As well.
I think our picots are a lot simpler than
So
the
on the
crochet
board,
ones.
should we just show you what a picot looks like?
Yes, please do.
I mean, all this information that Barbara's telling you is all in your books as well. So the picots, you see these little loops that are on the tops of everything? They're like little hooks, aren't they?
That's it,
See
yeah,
these
little loops.
Those are picots. The little loops. They look like the sort of thing you'd hang something up with. But they're picots.
And we use those as decoration.
Those, yes, because a lot, I've noticed with the tatting, there are a lot of picots,
yes,
aren't there?
you don't have to have any picots if you don't want them as decoration, but they do look pretty as decoration.
Yes, no, they are. They're really pretty, aren't
but they are functional as well because we also use them for joining.
Okay.
So wherever you can see a join on those boards,
yes,
there would have been a picot there.
Ah, okay. So very important thing to learn
yes.
then. Okay.
Yeah. So the picot, we start our stitch as normal. So we go over the hand and underneath and back through that loop. And then we make sure that the little blue thread jumps over. But this time we're going to take it down, but we're not going to take it all the way. We're going to leave a little space between the two. You see the little space there. Okay, cameraman's doing very well, but I know it's difficult. Then we're going to hold on to that stitch and do the second half of the stitch. And then as we push those two together, you can see that there's a little picot there. You see that little picot? Okay, so there's the little picot.
That's lovely. So do it again.
Okay, let's do
again.
another one. Do it again. Do it again.
Do it again.
So, first half of the
like,
stitch.
Go, do it again. Do it again.
Do it again. And pull to make the blue thread pop over. And then instead of moving it down to snug against the next stitch, we leave a little space. And then we do the second half of the stitch. And then we can push them together. And we've got the picot.
Brilliant.
Okay.
And all of this is all in the books, isn't it?
Yes.
So you haven't got to remember all of this.
No.
However, just remember the date that this was on. Very
Yes.
important. Because then you can rewatch it on YouTube when you get your kit at home, and you can watch it go backwards and forwards and backwards and just keep practicing. A bit like when you do crochet and you keep doing a chain until
That's
you've
right, until you've got used
it.
to. And I think one of the biggest things is to know how to hold your left hand. Because right-handed people, we don't do a lot with our left hand.
No.
So the
No.
left hand has to hold the thread, and some people do hold their thread like this if they're crocheting too. So it's very similar. But we're working on this piece of thread that's between these two fingers, and that's when we close to make that thread nice and loose, and then we can open it to make it tight
yeah.
again. And that's an important thing, to be able to open and shut that piece there, because that's when we shut our fingers, that's when this thread can jump over. We call it flipping the stitch, flipping stitches.
Flipping stitches. Yeah.
So we're getting quite knotted, and we're flipping stitches.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll show you once more. So over, under the thread, back through that loop, and this is the important thing, pull hard on your shuttle so that then the thread then goes blue, and then just walk it down the thread. Hold on to that stitch, second half, over, and again pull, and there's your stitch. Okay.
Okay, that's great. So is that enough now for people to get started?
You can get started with that, yes, but we need to do a ring.
Okay, let's do a ring.
Okay, so most of the patterns, if Rebecca will show you, is made of rings and chains.
Yeah, so if you look on my board.
I think one of the round motifs is a good one
Where are we?
to look at.
So, you know, something like this.
Yes.
These are rings.
That's right, in the centre there.
All the way down the centre.
And the chains are on top.
This is the watermelon sample, if you want to know. The one that Barbara is doing at the moment is the rainbow sample.
Okay.
Right, so of all of the shuttle tatting kits, we've sold more than over half of them have gone. So if you do want one, I suggest you put it in your basket and check out, because Barbara's going to show us the ring next, and you really don't want to miss out. So you see all the rings that are on all of these. This is what she's going to show us how to do now. Is obviously picots and rings are very important parts of tatting. Let me just move that over for you. So you've got rings here. You've got rings here. Lots of these rings. It's all in the book, but show us how to do a ring then.
Okay, so we put variegated thread on our shuttle, if you remember.
Yes.
I need to put my glasses back on. I can see in the distance.
So the thread that's on the shuttle is the base thread.
Yes, and it's the variegated one.
Right, okay.
Yeah, because that's the thread we're going to use for our rings. Okay, and what I need to do, because I'm using this thread, you can see that, that's at the bottom here. So we need to turn our work over. So we need to turn it so that the picots are facing downwards. And then we're not going to be using the ball thread at all. I'm going to use the thread that's coming off the shuttle. And I'm going to put it in a ring around my hand, and we're going to hold it where it joins to the rest of the tatting that we've done. And you can see that the colour is changing quite nicely for us.
It's lovely, isn't
and
it?
this is why we use the variegated thread on the shuttle. Now I'm going to do the stitch exactly the same, so we don't have to learn another stitch. All you have to remember is that you put the thread around your hand, and it's the thread that's around your hand that's going to make the stitch colour. So my first stitch will be green instead of this bluey colour. So again, we're going to do the first half under and over, and then I'm going to let my fingers go loose, then I'm going to tighten up, and you can see I've got a green stitch there. Then do the second half, and that's the second half of the green stitch. And what happens is that that stitch can actually move. I can move this thread through the stitch.
Oh, like a slip knot.
Yeah. So it has to move, otherwise you won't be able to make your ring. So I'm going to do a few more stitches, first half and second half, first half, second half. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So you might want to put it...
She's actually doing it this fast. We haven't just sped it up. But you'll be like that.
Oh, you'll be as soon as you've got the stitch, you'll be fine. And then we're going to put a picot on the end of that. And then I'm going to do 6 more stitches. And can you see I can still move my thread through those stitches?
Yeah, I can see it's still
which
moving.
is most important. Excuse me. So doing it a little bit faster now. 3 and 4.
So when you follow a
5.
pattern, it would tell you this, how many to do.
It will tell you how many stitches, how many double stitches that you need. So now I've got, if you can see that, there we go. I've got 6 stitches, double stitches, a picot and 6 double stitches. And now I'm going to hold on to those stitches and pull the thread through and round, and we have a ring.
So what's lovely is that you're using 2 threads, but these change colour between the main thread just because of the way that you're doing it. You're not having to sort of break threads.
And the your thread the colour thread that's on your shuttle will be the colours that will come out in your rings. Right. So if you look again on the samples there, you'll see that all of the rings are in fact made with the variegated thread.
So I've got watermelon in front of me. Just to let you know, we are in single figures of all of the shuttle tatting
Goodness
kits.
Me.
So I would check out on them. So if you can see on here that you've got all of the rings are in the variegated thread,
right.
Whereas the outer loops are in the solid thread.
Solid thread.
Mm-hmm. So isn't that lovely? And that's just the way, you're not having to join in new threads and stop and start. It's just the way that you create the stitch uses the different colours.
Yeah, because your shuttle thread. So if you, as you progress, if you want to use 2 solid colours, then you would end up with a motif that had 2 solid
Yes,
colours.
so that's up, you know,
So
you can choose.
in this kit, you would have the yellow and the green. So when you're quite proficient at doing your rings and chains, and you don't have to make sure that you've got the right colour every time, then you could do the 2 solid colours.
Yeah, okay.
And you
so
can
it's
mix and match.
But the way you've put the kits together is to make it easier for the beginners.
Yes, because
and pretty.
when you're beginning, you need to make sure, especially on the rings, you need to make sure that you flipped those stitches, that you haven't got the shuttle thread on where the ball thread should be on your stitches.
When I was talking to Barbara at the beginning about these kits, and I said, "Oh, can we do one that's neutral? I quite fancy one that's sort of white." And she said, "No, no." That'll be too difficult. This is for beginners. And no, I went, okay, I believe you then. I just thought, oh, I'd like one that's all neutral and white.
Yes.
But no. But you can
try those
obviously,
later.
you can work up to that. But for beginners, the reason, I mean, it's lovely, isn't it, that sometimes when you get beginner things, they're not as nice as the later things. But actually, Barbara's chosen these so that the colours are beautiful.
Yeah, and they're nice and bright so you can see the
You can
changes.
see what you're doing, but you
Yes.
also end up with something really
and
lovely.
it is pretty.
So why do you get your yarn from the States then? What's so special about it?
Okay, so there's a lady in the States that has a company called Handy Hands, and she sources the material, the cotton from Egypt, and then it's made in China, in a factory in China, and then shipped over to her in the United States in the wholesale.
Right.
There.
And it's made specially for tatting.
And this, the thread is primarily for tatting, but if we've got any crocheters out there that like to use finer threads, it's fine for crochet too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is the real deal.
Yeah, this is still the premium thread for tatters.
Yes. Which is great because you when you want to start a new craft, it's really frustrating when you haven't or can't find the right things.
That's
anyway.
right. And there's over 100 colours.
They are beautiful, aren't they?
in
They're
both.
really nice, and you can
Yes.
see that they're good quality. And it's always a shame, isn't it? I know when you're practicing and you've obviously got to just learn the stitches, but it's nice to have made something. And if you work your way through the book, start at project 1.
Yeah, and just a small motif, like little round motifs, they look lovely, just sewn onto a little gift bag. You know, the gift bag that you've got your kit in, you could then sew.
Yes, because all the kits come in the organza bag.
An
so you could
organza
sew one
bag.
onto- you could sew one onto there, couldn't you?
So you could sew a motif onto there, and you could put an edging on the top, make it frilly at the top or whatever.
And put it on a card.
Yeah, cards are brilliant. It's a really nice. It's a nice way, and they will go through the mail as well. So if you've got, it won't be a large
that's
letter.
true. That's true. So can we move on to needle tatting?
Yes, most certainly.
Just to confuse you.
Yeah, I'm going to move all of these things.
So
away.
there are 2 kits for needle tatting. So just while Barbara gets herself sorted, just before she starts, half of both of these have gone. So if you do want the needle tatting, put it in your basket, check out, and then you can just sit back and watch Barbara do it. So in the needle tatting kit, you get the proper needles and a needle threader as well.
Yes, comes with a needle thread.
For the tatting. Right, so if you want the blue one, there are more of these kits in the baskets than we've actually got available, so please check out, and then it's yours. In this kit, you get 4 needles, and they are special just for tatting. They come in 4 different diameters, and that's for they're not used for other crafts. These are for tatting. It says on their tatting needles. 4 different diameters depending on the thread that you use, and they're special because the eye end is the same diameter all the way around. So you'll see in a minute how that works, but that goes all the way through. Why you need that. Okay, and then you've got the book, which tells you everything you need to know, and the thread. So,
That's right, yeah.
Where do we start with this then, Barbara?
Okay, so I think the biggest difficulty is threading the needle. So it's nice that they give you a needle threader.
Yes,
So
if that's the biggest problem.
I think that's the biggest challenge for most people with. So we just want to. So I'm threading up. The thread that you get in the needle tatting kit is a perlé thread. It's a size 5 perlé. and we're using the size 5 needle. Size 5 needle is not the thickest one in the kit, it's the next size down.
Okay, number 2 thickness. And what's
Yeah.
special about this thread then?
It's a nice soft thread, and it really is just a very nice smooth thread to use.
Okay.
And it's a nice size, it's a thicker size. Again, with when you're beginning, it's better to have something that's a bit thicker.
Right, okay, just to make
Okay.
it a bit easier.
Yeah. So we've threaded our needle, we've left a small tail, that's 4 or 5 inches tail. And again, I'm doing this right-handed, so I'm sorry for you left-handers out there, but it is possible to do this left-handed too. I think there's a section in the book that tells you how
Oh,
to do it.
okay, about how to do it
Yeah.
for left-handed, right.
So I'm going to get about 1 metre and make a loop, and I'm putting that loop behind the needle. And then I'm going to start with the stitches. And with needle tatting, you make the stitches onto the needle. So it's a little bit simpler. The first stitch goes over your finger and up that way. And then we go the opposite direction and bend the finger forward and put the needle up in that way. So you see we've got exactly the same stitch on the needle that we had before. So let me try and show you that one again. So we're using this finger round and up towards the nail and pull it onto the needle, back the other way, bend it forward, and this time we're putting the needle from the knuckle up to the nail, okay, picking that loop up and putting it onto the needle. So we go in a clockwise direction first of all and upwards, and then in an anti-clockwise direction put your finger down and go from the knuckle up to the nail, and you can see we've got stitches on there.
Wow.
And that's it.
And that's it.
That's the
it.
stitch.
Well, the blue one is sold out now.
Okay,
sorry,
so I should have
both of them
started on the. They're
Both
both
of them are
sold.
sold out.
Okay, so those of you that have got the kit.
But that's fine. You can still keep going. You
Okay.
can still show them how to do it.
Right,
But they're
so
both sold out.
so there we have. I've put 6 stitches on there now. Now I'm going to do a picot, and the picot is exactly the same. Do first half of the stitch, and then you just leave a gap. Sorry, leave a gap. Put your finger on the stitch, do the second half, and then you see you've got your picot. Now I'm going to fast forward again, aware of the time going very quickly.
I know, just
You said it would go quickly,
I said
didn't
you won't
you?
even realise, and you'll go,
Yeah.
where did that time
And
go?
it has gone very quickly. Okay, so you see I've got 6 stitches on both sides of there. Now this time I'm going to make a ring to begin with. It's easier with needle tatting to start off with a ring,
Right.
whereas in shuttle tatting it's easier to start off with a chain.
Okay.
So this time I'm going to put the stitches into my left hand, and I'm going to push the needle through those stitches, and it's going to leave a loop at the end here. So I keep going through, but we're not going to pull it all the way through, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my needle through that loop from the front to the back, and then I'm going to hold on to the stitches and keep pulling. And as we pull, there we've got our little ring. You see that? And it's got a little picot on the end.
That's lovely, isn't
Isn't that
it?
super?
It's
Now-
a really lovely meditative task, isn't it? It's a really
It is,
nice, you have to
yes.
sort of think about it, but it's very smooth, and you know, and I guess once you get practiced at it.
I've taught people that have just recovering from nervous breakdowns, and they say it really calms them, because they have to think about it. They don't have to think about their problems. They think about it, and they're quite calm by the time
Yeah.
they've finished doing it. Now I
That's
want
why
to show
crafts
you.
are so good for mental health, isn't it?
It is. Now, because this is not such a tight craft as shuttle tatting, we need to make sure, and this is a different type of ring to what we do in shuttle tatting. This is called a self-closing mock ring, but please don't worry about that.
That makes it sound really complicated. It's a self-closing mock ring.
We have to then fold over this ring. You fold it over as though it were a page of a book. So you fold it over, and can you see it makes a little cross on the top here? So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put the needle through that loop, and that will just finish it off with a little tiny knot on the top. It'll just finish it off nicely, and that will stop it coming undone.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the metallic thread that we've got, do we use that for the needle tatting or the shuttle tatting?
You can use it for either. If you're using it for your needle tatting, you probably would need one of the finer ones.
Right.
To do it with.
And this,
so again, to attempt it when you're a bit more proficient.
This star, this snowflake actually, it's a snowflake, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, it's more of a star. I don't know, could be
I'm going to
either.
put it on this blue background.
It's going to go on somebody's Christmas tree anyway.
It is.
I just hope they're not watching.
Yeah, don't what if you see get this for Christmas, shh.
Don't tell anyone.
It's been on telly. It's a famous Christmas decoration. So this has been made by Barbara using the paler gold. So in the metallic bundle, again, this is thread that's specially sourced by Barbara. This comes from Turkey. This isn't just any old metallic thread.
No,
this is metallic thread.
Beautiful metallic thread.
Perfect for needle tatting.
Lovely and smooth.
And in the pack, you get 6 colours. You get a light gold, a brighter gold, silver. Shall I put there? So red. I'm trying to show. I was like, trying to work out the best way to show. You get red, blue, green, silver, light gold, and a brighter gold. So what's so good about these threads then?
Okay, they're a 3-ply thread, so they've got a nice twist to them. But it is a twist that you can use very well with both your tatting, and again you can crochet with these if you wanted to do something really fine.
Do you use the metallic for both threads when you do it, for the working thread and the shuttle thread?
I have done. You don't have to. You can use your metallic thread either as the ball thread. If you use it as the ball thread, then it will be the chains that will be metallic.
Right.
If you use it in your shuttle, it will be your rings that are metallic. So that's the only difference.
But you could work any of the patterns in the books using the metallic.
Oh yes.
If you want a bit of sparkle.
Most definitely.
But it's lovely, isn't it? That when I was discussing the show with Barbara, I said, well, let's put something like this on because it's just it's a specialist thread. It's something that you're not going to find very easily, and it's perfect for tatting. Well, and crochet as well. Oh, we've got a message. Got a message.
Okay.
From Collector. Great demos. I taught myself needle tatting 50 years ago, but I've totally forgotten how to do it.
Oh.
Well, there you go.
I hope she can do it now.
Now you can do it now.
Yeah. Excellent.
So what else is that needle tatting covered? We've probably got about 5 minutes left.
Okay. Yeah. The only other thing to remember with needle tatting is that when you're doing chains, then you don't have to do that little knot at the end. Well, you do the knot, but you don't have to actually put your thread through it. I'll show you a chain. So again, it's exactly the same as with shuttle. You need to turn your work over so the picot is facing downwards, and we put the part that we've just made, we just put our needle onto the knot, and then we can work away our chain. And again, we're going clockwise, anti-clockwise, clockwise, anti-clockwise, and so on. I'm not going to go full chain. It's because I haven't got my glasses on. I made a mistake. Oh dear, let's put my glasses on. I keep forgetting. There we go. The last one. I just made a small chain there, but when we're making a chain, we just push the needle right the way through.
Okay. Because
we're not wanting that to be a ring. And so there's our chain. And then we do the same thing. We turn it over as though it were a page of a book, and you've got the cross on the top, put your needle through and make that little knot on the top there. So that keeps your chain from moving as well. So that's your ring and your chain.
Lovely.
Okay.
It's so effective, isn't it? And I do like the way you have to really, you know, concentrate and think about it. But
Yeah.
at the end, you know, you've made something so pretty.
Yeah.
And you could just make meters of it and just edge things, couldn't
Oh
you?
yes, yes. Loads of some people do. They make loads and loads and loads. If you make it in a metallic thread, you can put it around your Christmas tree. It'll look rather
Wow.
pretty.
Well, thanks so much, Barbara. I mean, you have shown that so well. You clearly teach a lot. A lot.
Yes, yes. I have a little group that meet in our house. If any of them are watching, hi. And we meet on a fortnightly basis.
Lovely. Well, I mean, it's really explained it. It's lovely. And thank you so much for putting the kits together for us, because there's everything you
You're
need
welcome.
in here and more. You know, so if you've lucky enough to bought one of the kits, we do have some stock left of watermelon in the shuttle tatting. So let me just... I'm going to have to pack all this lot up later, remember what was in what bag. So we do have some left of the watermelon. So let me show you the board of what you can create, what it looks like. Here's the board. So in the kit, you get the solid green, the solid pink, and the variegated watermelon shade. You get the shuttle, which is exactly what you need, and the book's already out here. You get this fantastic book. Well, it's fold out actually, as Barbara was saying, because you can put that on your lap or put it on the table in front of you, and it tells you exactly how to do it. What do you do with your left hand? What do you do with your right hand? All the diagrams, so you can follow this through, and then before you know it, you'll be tatting as fast as Barbara does. And it shows you how to read patterns, how to do rings. So that's everything you need to know to begin with, and that's in there on top of the demonstration that you can watch back from Barbara. You've got Lynn Morton's 6th book of easy tatting, which is lovely because it starts with simple. So once you've learned the basic double stitch, you start at the beginning with the ring and chain edging, and you work your way through. And as you go on, it gets a little bit more complicated. And you just develop all your skills and techniques and practicing until you go all the way. It's fantastic, isn't it? There are so many of you who have missed out on the kit that you want. What did Louise say? I am gutted. I put the needle tatting in my basket while I was working, went to pay during my dinner break, and they'd all gone. Well, we will, but the thing is, it's really hard, isn't it? When we're doing all these new techniques, we have to try and decide how many are we going to sell. We don't know, you know, we try and cater for everybody, but I'm so pleased that you like it, because it means we can have Barbara back. So she can come back. And these are all put together by Barbara.
Maybe I won't be quite so nervous next time.
No, you did. Well, I have to say, you've come across really confident. You haven't been nervous at all. So there are also, so that's the watermelon. We've also got a few of the spring garden.
That's my favourite.
So this is the spring garden colourway. Now remember, if these are in your basket, you really must check out, because we have got more in the basket. There's no needle tatting left, only shuttle tatting. And in the spring garden, you get, I love the colours of these. It's a really soft green and a soft pink. There's nothing bright about it.
I think it's called a raspberry pink, that one.
It is, it's beautiful. And then it really goes so lovely with the spring garden, doesn't it?
Those are the colours that are in there.
Raspberry pink, leaf green and spring garden. So they're really lovely. But, you know, we will have Barbara back. So when Barbara, she puts all these kits together, she creates them, and she'll be posting them all to you as well, which is lovely. So, and we will have her back. We'll do some new colourways. We'll do some different designs. We'll show you some different things. But also, don't forget the metallic threads. So if you're, well, you know, if you're a bit more experienced, or if you think, well, actually, I want to learn to tat, and I would like to learn, you know, I want to do the metallic. I want to make something as beautiful as this Christmas decoration. It doesn't have to be Christmas. I mean, everything you need is in your kit for the next step. But if you want to have a go with metallic
little
threads,
pin as well there, behind your hand sanitizer.
There's one there. Oh,
Yeah.
This is beautiful. Look, this is what you can, another thing
That's
you
in the
can
book.
create. And that's in the book. So in the shuttle tatting book.
In the Tatting with Beads book.
In the Tatting with Beads
In
book,
Rosemary's
which is
book.
in the shuttle tatting kit.
Yeah.
This is one of the designs. It's beautiful, isn't it? And it's using a metallic thread and some beads. But it's like a brooch pin. But it's lovely. But I mean, if you want seed beads, you can always go to our sister channel, Jewellery Maker. They do loads of seed beads. But isn't that beautiful? Just such a simple little thing. but it's absolutely stunning. So if you want the metallic threads, if you want to move on to the next step, then we have got this lovely bundle that's been put together.
Those should be over £4 each.
These should be, how much is this bundle?
Less than 20.
£19.99. Yeah, so why are these so cheap then?
I'm just feeling generous.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas, yes.
Yeah, so these should be over £4 each. So, and these are really good for embroidery as well. You can do loads of different things with them. So if you want metallic threads for embroidery, these are beautiful. And they come all the way from Turkey, direct to you.
They do. Yes.
Not even via China and America.
No.
Just straight to Barbara. Great. So thanks so much, Barbara. And we will see you again soon, hopefully.
Yes, yeah. And a nice New Year.
Yeah, it's been great. So we've got, what day is it today? It's Wednesday. Yarn Lane is on Friday. Yes, God, my mind's going. It's so complicated this time of year, isn't it? You forget what you're doing. Anyway, lovely Helen Ingram from Woolly Chic is in on Friday with baby knits. I've got them all in a box by my desk. They're beautiful, really lovely. Don't forget, if you go onto the Yarn Lane website, if you go onto all the different categories, anything that you've missed on previous Yarn Lane shows, we've put on there. So if you're looking for, say, a crochet kit or a knitting kit or any of the patterns or the books, or if you need knitting needles or crochet hooks or stitch markers or all the equipment and stuff, if you go on there, it's on there. So anything that we have left over after the show, we put on there. But I've also bought lots of basic stock. So, nice things. I mean, they're all really good quality. We've got lovely crochet hooks and knitting needles, all different sorts of equipment, all the stitch markers and the circular needles, all those lovely things that you need. But if you want, a gift for somebody or something, it's all on there. But if you want to buy a gift for somebody but you're not sure what they would like, we do gift vouchers as well. So if they are on the website, you can see there's the Yarn Lane gift card, and they can be posted or emailed. So if you wanted to buy somebody one for Christmas, then you can buy them that and get it as an e-gift card, and you don't have to even have it posted out to you. So if you've got a friend or family member who's a yarn lover, that's a brilliant... also, yes, your Yarn Lane voucher, if you buy one for this, it's also valid on Sewing Street. So you can use it on either. So it's a really good idea. It's a really personal gift, isn't it? This time of year when you're trying to think what to buy somebody, well, if you buy them that's very specific, they know. It's not just like giving them a tenner, is it? It's just there as the gift voucher. So thank you so much. I've had a lovely hour. I've learnt so much. It's been really calm. Yes. I feel actually quite calm and gentle. So join us again on Friday with Helen. She's got some beautiful crochet and knitting just for babies. And I will see you on Saturday. Okay, bye-bye.